Hi everybody, welcome to the channel. A couple of weeks ago, me and the girlfriend were out bashing around on the Lunchbox and hit something a little bit hard, and it got a little bit of stanky leg action going on. So today we're going to put on a new pair of shocks and a new set of A-arms. Didn't necessarily need the A-arms, but I decided to put them on anyway since I had them. And I got them off of eBay. I got the shocks off of Amazon. They were pretty much the only ones that come up when you search for shocks for the Lunchbox on Amazon. There are other ones, but they weren't prime shipping, so I got these ones, and we're going to install them today. Thank you. As you can see here, we like to run the Lunchbox. It's quite dirty. It gets bashed around a lot. It's something that's easy to drive when the front tires are on the ground anyway, and you pretty much hand the controller off to anybody, and they just have a blast with it because it's just full trigger, wheels up in the air, and all the stuff that everybody says about the Lunchbox. So this one definitely gets used, and you can see all the jank modifications I've made to the suspension to try to keep it a little bit more friendly on bouncing around, and it's none of it's worked, none of it's helped. But let's get down into breaking down these old shocks. You got to give it to Tamiya. You would think that, with all the pieces that these shocks go together with, you would think that they would be better than they are, and they work well for the vehicle that they are on. Because you're running around with the front tires in the air all the time anyway, and the thing rolls over all the time anyway, which is why I've never put the decals on it. And the yellow paint job that's on it probably has about 15 layers, so that scratches don't get through to the white. But it's a fun little truck to drive. Now let's remove those old plastic A-arms and say hi to Roxy back there. She's my little helper. If I could wake her up when I need something, but she's helping. Give old Lunchbox a little bit of a wipe down here. And these are the new A-arms. They look really good. I only had one problem when putting the little plastic brace back on, that the little, well, you see in the video, a little piece of it hits the A-arms, and I had to trim a little bit of it off to make them work correctly. There's another steering issue that I'll talk about here in a little bit. Boy, those new A-arms look good. Now you can see here the steering knuckle gets a little bit close to the side of the A-arm. So when you're at full lock on one side, it actually hits the A-arm, and it just bends the white part of the plastic just a little bit. I think they're designed to be used with another set of aluminum steering knuckles, which will probably be a future upgrade. Now these shocks did not come with any instructions at all, so I was kind of flying by the seat of my pants, or the seat of the shock mounts. As you can see here, the hole's kind of wallered out a little bit bigger than the threaded part there, but it came with four tiny little rubber washers. They ended up putting them over the top of the threads there and then sticking them up through there and then tightened it down, and they got real tight in there, so I don't think they're going anywhere. I need to get a strut brace for the Lunchbox here. I like it. It's much better than the stock. I don't think it throws as far, but it's definitely softer, and it feels like it'll be better on the wheels coming off the ground and when they land. Front of the Lunchbox looks entirely different now, and I like it. Now let's move on to the rear. And now that we've moved on to the rear of the Lunchbox, you can see the Sport Tune motor, which is a great upgrade for this thing. You can also see, well, back underneath there somewhere anyway, there's the transmission brace from Ampro Engineering that is still installed. That thing is wonderful. It stops the motor from hitting the back of the shocks every time you hit the gas. Here in this clip, you can also see all of the jank modifications I have done to the suspension over the years. Every time it landed weird or landed wrong or would turn one way doing a wheelie when it was up in the air, and I would, well, I can put a zip tie around here and fix that, or make the throw not as far by putting a little piece of rubber in there or something, and none of it's worked essentially. It's just the nature of the Lunchbox. It's pretty hard to control, basically because the front tires are in the air all the time. I meant to make this video clip a whole lot shorter than it is. Sorry. And in with the new. The new shocks are real easy to put on. You just screw them into the back of the transmission brace there where the old shocks were screwed in, where the nubs to the old shocks were screwed into. And then they stay. Even though it's screwed into plastic, they seem to be mounted nice and solid. I might get the aluminum transmission brace for back there at some point in the future. I'd also like to get a better wheelie bar. Now we're sitting here looking at it. I'd like to get the one with the wheel on either side of it so it's a little bit more stable when it gets up on the thing. And here we go. They feel good, soft and springy at the same time. Alright, slow down this footage a little bit, halftime, so we can kind of see the fronts bouncing around there. That's really what I'm concerned about, is how the front wheels are going to bounce and reflex and react to having the new shocks and the new A-arms, which are probably a little bit heavier than the plastic ones. It's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. You can see it's got a lot more flex in it. Thank you for watching the video and have a good day.